everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining the McConnell Arts Center again. I'm Katie Serbu, Director of Programs and Engagement here. And here today, I have Ashton Najarian. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Yeah, I'm really excited to chat too.
Awesome.
Talking about art and stuff. So.
Yes, we're so excited. So I wanted to start off with you just doing some introductions and letting our folks get to know you a little bit.
Yeah, so hello everyone. My name is Ashton Najarian, but you can call me Ash. I'm a recent graduate of the University of Dayton's Fine Art program. I've always been into art pretty much. I've always been drawing and painting and stuff. It only ever kind of clicked for me that I wanted to be an artist in like high school, where I kind of had more freedom to experiment and just like try out things that I wanted to do like with my art. And yeah, it just kind of built from there. And I went to the University of Dayton, met a lot of cool professors and things, and just got to put on some shows of my own. And yeah, it's just kind of always been there. I don't know. I've never really like thought about it like that. It's always just kind of been like a part of me. So yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I know you have some special pieces in our exhibition right now, and some of them actually came to us wet. I was so excited because they are new pieces. Can you share with us just a little bit about what you have in the gallery right now?
Yeah. So right now, and the reason that those paintings came to you wet was because the bigger painting, the one that was the Ode to Demphel Avenue, that one was one that I had completed a while ago. And it was just something that I had been working on. I started it during quarantine. So if you like look at that painting, it's kind of just like a view from my studio window looking out on the street. And that's just kind of the one that I started with. I've always been kind of influenced by artists like in the intimist movement, kind of like Pissarro, like I guess Monet kind of did paintings like that, you know, some impressionist painters that painted like intimate interior scenes. I've always been interested in that. So that painting kind of started from my love for like those kind of paintings. So the reason that I brought a couple of paintings to you wet was because I wanted to kind of flesh out this idea that I was getting at in Ode to Demphel Avenue, which was investigating sort of this feeling of unease that everyone's feeling right now under this veneer of like normalcy. And you kind of see in normal life that veneers kind of sort of start to fade away. So those paintings are almost kind of describing or looking at like that moment in which you start to realize that something's wrong. So like if you look at the Ode to Demphel Avenue, it's kind of like very bright. You see the houses outside, and then you start to come towards like the forefront of the painting, and then you start to see like the dark window. There's like a shaded porch, and then you can see the actual board in the left corner that I painted on. So it's kind of just this feeling of like an interior like darkness or something, as opposed to like the exterior lightness that you see. So yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. And those other two paintings, the smaller ones, are kind of that same theme of like domestic interiors or like scenes that kind of just feel a little off. So that's kind of what I was exploring with those.
Yeah, it really feels like a set too, that it went so well together. It was really easy for me to hang that because I could see that all as kind of a storyline together. But thank you for sharing that. I know you also participated in the murals that are outside, which inspired our Outside In exhibition inside. But what inspired you to participate in the murals outside? And can you talk to me a little bit about, I know you approached it with some graffiti already on your boards that you honored. So can you share a little bit about that process with me?
Yeah. So I guess the reason that I got involved in the first place was well, the location, first of all, was just like very important. It was just like right across from the Capitol building in Columbus was where I did that mural. And so I kind of just wanted another way to be involved with like the protests that were going on. And I mean, what better way for like an artist to be involved in that than by making art is kind of how I viewed it. So I like jumped on the opportunity, drove down to Columbus, and I had kind of like a vague idea of what I wanted the mural to look like. I wanted kind of this motif of like, you know, being a vessel for growth, you know, keeping an open mind and inviting in new ideas, because I think the protests were kind of just such a huge sparking moment like in America's history, and it was a lot to process for people, I'm sure. So I kind of wanted to address that by having this motif of like being an empty vessel and just like allowing the moment to transpire as it is going to. So where the graffiti works into that is because of like this huge sparking moment in American history, I think there's always going to be like a reactionary response to that. So you hear a lot of things like, well, the protesters are just looting and burning buildings and things like that, trying to like demonize what the protesters are calling for. And so when I got to the mural and I saw like such beautiful, like wise phrases as like education is wealth, or the other one was we are flesh and bones, we are all we have, or something, I was like, that's so beautiful. I just want to save that for people who might think that people are just taking advantage of this protest to like loot buildings or something. Like people are really out there like advocating for something, you know. I didn't want to like lose that like advocacy sort of edge to it. So yeah, that was
That's great. And so we had, within the first week of putting the murals up, we had the elementary school kids right next door to us come over in classrooms and in groups and look at the murals and have conversations with their teachers and with us. And so one of the phrases that turned into a little bit of a project with one of the classes was the education is wealth on your mural. That was one of the most popular focuses of the whole visit. And so I think it was fantastic for you to include that. And I think at the time I did not know what inspired having that. So this makes it even better of really having that be a part of history. I think that's fantastic that you were able to weave that in there and also bring your art to it to really highlight and honor those pieces. So that's fantastic. Do you have a proudest moment that you want to share with us in your world, like recently, or is there anything that you want to shout out about yourself?
Yeah, this year has brought on a lot of like, what would be the right word? I don't know. So like when you're applying for a job and like the job is like, we need someone who's a self-starter. Like I feel like I grew that like self-starter kind of mentality over the pandemic. And I've actually been working on a lot of art shows on my own that exist solely on Instagram. And I think that was like a really proud like breakthrough moment for like my art practice. So these art shows that I've been putting on, the first one was called 30 Days. And it was just a collection of drawings and paintings that I had made over the course of April. Like, so I made a drawing for each day of April. And it was kind of just to chronicle time passing, kind of, it was demonstrating how like your personality or your selfhood kind of just like proliferates over time and changes and grows. And it was like, I had a really good time making it. A lot of people really enjoyed it. And I'm doing another one for February, kind of a similar idea there, just kind of like the same kind of chronicling of days, and you're like taking note of how you change and grow over time through art. So yeah.
We're really wanting to highlight and shout out your successes here. So is there any way that we can follow you? Is there a good Instagram account that we can follow? You want to just shout that out for everybody?
Yeah, so it's a.najagada, which is like, we were talking earlier about how everyone mispronounces our last names. That was like the classic mispronunciation of my name. So it's spelled Najagada. But yeah, so.
Awesome. We'll also tag it, but yeah, everybody go follow Ash and follow his journey here in February, and we'll have some fun with that too. And is there any way that, not everybody's ready to purchase a painting, but is there any way that we could support you outside of a painting purchase, anything like that?
Yeah, just follow me on Instagram. I guess that's kind of the main way I interact with people. I find the platform to be very interesting in that it's like the closest thing we have to like an online art community. Like there's not really a good app to share art and to comment on art as there is like on Instagram. So I would say just like engaging with me there and just like checking out the things I do there, because really a major part of my practice kind of relies on Instagram like as a platform. And I guess like when you start to like see the other art that I do, like I make animations even and videos, and just kind of like I even make like memes. I mean, it's just kind of like
Awesome.
the way I interact with people and like the way I interact with art. So yeah.
Fantastic. Okay, is there anything else that you want to share with our patrons in the community?
Stay hydrated, eat lunch, eat breakfast, and tell someone you love them today. That's it.
I love it. Awesome. Thank you so much, Ash, for joining us. We really appreciate it. And we're excited to keep celebrating you throughout the week. And everybody, go check him out on Instagram and keep following us for more information about Ash. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thanks.